Happy February. It's just been another slow Saturday morning. It's like freezing cold, and it's actually been like that for the whole week actually. It's been keeping me in, or actually I've been using it as an excuse to stay in. As much as I would like to remain this way, stay in bed and rot, do have to get a move on. We actually have a viewing of a potential art studio, a shared space. As I've mentioned previously, I do have an exhibit coming up late March, and I can't work in my home studio because it's too cold for it. So we have to look for a temporary space. Gonna go view that today. Finish this. Well, almost finished this. I think I have about a chapter left. It took me nearly like a month. It's not because like I didn't enjoy it, but just essays in general, I tend to go through pretty slowly. So yeah, I need to pick out another book for the month, and I think I'm gonna pick on a novel because I've sort of feel myself getting into a reading slump just because this took such a long time. I think a novel would be a great way to get me out of it. Once I have my book, we'll be set. But before we step out, I just want to thank today's sponsor, Squarespace, for once again supporting my channel. If you're an artist like me or a small business owner looking to launch your brand online, this is the perfect place to begin. If you don't know, Squarespace is an all-in-one platform created to help you curate your very own website, along with the most amazing templates that are both aesthetically pleasing and easy to navigate. They also feature tons of helpful tools to keep you engaged with your customers, like emailing newsletters, membership access, and more. Plus, with their 24/7 support and analytics, you'll be guided every step of the way. So be sure to test things out with a free trial, and as always, with my link in the description box, you can save 10% off your first purchase of a domain or website. It's freezing! Got my sunnies on because I still want to hide from the world. Even though I'm sure no one gives a f about me, still safely guarded behind these shades. God, it's freezing. So this is the first studio I viewed. Lots of great natural lighting, which I loved. Great location. Also probably the biggest shared studio I've ever seen. A total of 3 floors, a separate lounging area, working area, plus storage, with the kilns all in the basement, so low risk of bad ventilation. The only downside was I thought for some reason the vibes were low-key intimidating at the time. Now, the second studio was less spacious, definitely less equipped, but more inviting. The lady who owned it was so sweet and so helpful when she was showing me around, but it was in this semi-basement area, so ventilation wasn't as great as the previous one. Had more shelving though, so more storage, and supposedly a few art supply shops nearby, so location was also convenient. Just got out of my second viewing. The first studio, I mean, it was nice and all, and it had enough equipment, it was spacious enough, but the vibes just weren't for me. I don't know, there's something weird about it. Like a little too clean. But I really like this one. The lady seemed really nice. This might be the better choice, but I am gonna go look at another one to make the final decision. So okay, so I lied. I ended up going with the first option. Even though it was like slightly over my price budget, I'm moving all my stuff in tomorrow or the day after, depends. I wasn't really looking for a particular vibe per se, but I don't know. Once I got back and I started reevaluating all the merits of both studios, I did end up deciding that the first one was the better option because, well, first of all, both studios are like an hour away from where I live, so commute wise there really was no difference. But I liked the location, I liked the area of the first studio better than the latter because it was just closer to the gallery, which is why we're looking for the studio in the first place. And again, I couldn't use my like semi like terrace home studio because it's freezing. But yeah, it was closer to the gallery. I think it's like 10 minutes by cab, so if ever I need to pop over during something. Also, it's gonna be easier to just move my art pieces there once it's finished. Yeah, and that area coincidentally also has a lot of great cafes, and I think that's like so important, especially when I'm in my creative process. I need a little pick-me-up, I need a little break, so having options is, and plus the studio itself has like a little resting area, a place to just lounge. Yeah, all in all, the first one was a go. That's probably what'll be going on in my life for the month and probably on to the next. I know it's a new month and I know it's February, but I've just been feeling so disoriented from like having to look for a studio and like deciding on a schedule. Me being me, I procrastinated till the very end, and so now I literally have so little time before the actual exhibit and I feel very rushed right now, and yeah, my mind is like all over the place. And usually when this happens, I like sort of stop filming for a while and just focus on my work. But I really wanted to share my creative process with you guys this time because I feel like I wasn't able to do that with you the last time during my Paris exhibit. I showed you the results and not like the actual process and the actual effort that went into it. And also in my New Year's vlog, I asked you guys what kind of content, what more you'd like to see from me this year, and a lot of you responded that you want to see more of my art life, like my life as a freelance artist. So that is what we're doing. This like little artist diaries will be a month or two long, and I can't wait to take you guys along with me. A common dilemma, like a common mental crisis that happens to every artist. Your work just feels like sort of obsolete and not worthy of any attention, and that sort of gets you discouraged and scared to put your creations out into the world, and also not just your creations but the process that goes into those creations. And it just feels like no one would really be interested, like no one really cares about my art. And I think that mindset sort of subconsciously took over even during the process of growing this channel. Oddly enough, me putting myself out onto the internet and out there isn't as scary as putting my art. I just feel like I am less scared of judgment when it comes to just me, but when it comes to my creations, I just get so self-conscious about it. So that's probably one of the main reasons why I haven't vlogged my art life as much. The second reason is because I just forget. I get so preoccupied with doing things and just being busy that I forget to document things and I forget to vlog it. I sometimes even forget to eat. So, but yeah, this time I am determined not to do that. Low-key kind of scared, but yeah, we're gonna push through. Hope you enjoy this series, my little artist diaries. more to come. I'm sure the next time I see you, I'll be in the studio covered in dirt. And another thing, this is the book for the month. It's 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and it's going. It is going. It's intriguing. It's intense, and at times doesn't really depict the most appropriate relations, but that you just have to like skim through. I'm mostly just interested in it for like the fantasy aspect of it. Probably will do a review on it soon, along with a curated list on all the books I want to be reading this year, so stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for the rest of this Artistry series. Happy February, and I will see you soon.